I'd be curious to know what's the, many people go back in vision, go look on YouTube. I'd be curious.
Yeah.
I'll be the first one to admit that I'm not, you know, right? This is the best food I had in a long time.
What's for lunch today, guys?
Hello, I'm just trying to get us, see if we're, can someone check to see if we're hooked up on YouTube? We are? You're on?
Yeah.
Okay, great. I'll shut this window down. This is live streamed. Got it. We're working.
I don't see
Yay.
you anymore.
No.
No,
Don't see you anymore.
You don't see me?
no, we're not live anymore.
No, it was, yeah, whenever you shut whatever, something down and then you start.
It says we are still live on YouTube, but
Yeah, it says live, but there's no image. Oh, there we go. Maybe it's the internet.
Walk away, Kathy.
are we good?
Yeah, we're good.
Okay, can you hear us? Members on Zoom?
There you go.
Thank you. Okay. Thanks, Bradley. Don't go for lunch, no. Okay. Can you see us all in that angle? Cause the I don't wanna touch the computer, okay.
Yeah, everyone looks great.
Wonderful. Oh, okay. Kelly, you can start the meeting.
Good, bring it to order.
And I'll watch the screen for movers and seconders.
Okay, so on to item number 2, the declaration of pecuniary interest. And then see any on the computer, see any here? So item number 3. The adoption of the minutes. I have a mover and seconder for the adoption of the minutes. Yeah, mover. And seconder, thank you.
Sandra and Brittany, thanks.
And all in favor? Carried. And item number 4, the adoption of the minutes. I have a mover and seconder for the adoption of the minutes.
Sandra,
Okay. Second,
Savannah,
and all in favor? Item number 5, business arising. And,
I think we got a lot covered on this agenda, and I don't think there was anything outstanding. If anyone can remember anything? All quiet, okay.
okay, item number 6. The accounts.
So you received a statement in your package. That was on the city's accounts for the end of May. And because it's, almost 2 weeks, no, the end of June now we're at, it's a month behind. Just to let you know, I went in and looked at year to date starting and right today. And it's just nice to see that because we've been so busy and we're starting to get in payments from the cruise ships and the bus tours, that the bottom line of revenue is actually at 54 and a half, 54.5 instead of 35.3. This is, of course, this statement is reflecting as of the end of May. So, but there's nothing yet unusual that I can see. Is there any questions on the income statement from anyone?
I just want to say great. That's once again very positive, Kathy.
Well, yes, to see, 20,000 in the month of June come in. But Now I know why we're busy and we're tired. That's all I wanted to say.
So we just need a mover and seconder to the defense. Okay,
David?
and seconder,
Yeah.
okay. And all in favor? Repeat. And then on to item number 7, Junior's report.
Just I'll go in order, the CMOG is, it is in. I hit send. I had to email Patricia because I wasn't getting much help on the help desk for the province. And just after I hit send to Patricia, I got help from the help desk. So, the community museum operating grant, our application, our finances, the emergency and disaster plan that we have brand new, well, revised and brand new. The annual report, and then the fall, you can see the list of policies that have to go in. And so they just have to see all of that, and this year's requirements were the emergency and disaster plan. So it has gone in, and we can still add. We just can't add the application, it's been submitted, but if there's any more on policies or any further documents, we can add it. So that being said, there's a draft letter in your package about, kind of asking for the province to take a look at CMOG for us. And the fact that, as you can see by the letter, currently we're still at the level we've always been at, which is 16,000. It's a lot of work to meet museum standards and all of that. And that was back in the day when we were just the old stone house and operating that. And it was darn close to being seasonal, but it registered with the province as a year round because we had opened enough days and hours. But it, it was seasonal. And so then, the blockhouse arrived, the gardens developed, and then the Heritage Discovery Center. And we're year round and we are flourishing, but it's always, every year a struggle with finances. So in comparison, there are other museums in our community that are receiving a lot more from CMOG. And the formula from the province was created probably 25 years ago of how they evaluated. And part of it was your operating budget. And so 25 years ago, as I said, we were seasonal old stone house. So I think it might be time. It may not prove to do anything, but at least, we know we've tried to at least bring an awareness. CMOG is being looked at provincially, and how they can revamp it, and they're also trying to make a plea, maybe probably the federal government funds to have a bigger pot of money in that program. So this is just, we're just looking at then maybe taking a look at our funding formula and seeing if there's any way we can get an increase in our funding. So is there any questions from those on Zoom or at the table on the letter?
Just have a comment. I would encourage you to do that letter almost every year if you can,
Yeah.
because you have to demonstrate. I know they're gonna say, we don't have more budget, we don't have this, but if we don't tell them and if we don't
Advocate
advocate for it, they will never really move forward. So we can do with what we have. So, I think it's a very good initiative, and I would, do that on a yearly basis. And even when you go to annual, maybe you can advocate there as well. For culture grants.
AMO,
Able, like,
Association for Municipality of
Ontario, yeah.
Okay,
I would also, I know you have representative from the city that goes, and I think I would. Maybe it's not in their high priority, but if you could just even flip it a little bit over there, I think it's, we just have to constantly remind them.
well, and you know, I didn't realize till I started to do the research for CMOG, and locally even. The formula and what other institutions are receiving from CMOG, so. Anyways, so that's why the letter is drafted, and since we're applying to CMOG right now, it seemed appropriate. Is there any further questions? Sandra, did you ever hand up? Oh,
Actually, can you hear me?
yes?
I'm gonna ask a question, but you don't have to answer it right now, maybe later. It's kind of related. I'm curious to see what other communities give, other municipalities give to their historical sites. Is there like a formula other municipalities use? Maybe in the future we could talk about that.
Yeah, well, I can do some research on that for future. It depends on whether it's owned and operated by the municipality or an organization that receives funding. Cause we have three organizations that receive funding that are not municipally operated. So, yeah, I can work on that. So with that, that proposed letter actually,
Actually, I think Heather had a question. Kathy?
oh, thank you for noticing, because she's a little tiny square on my computer. Go ahead.
Kathy, once the letter is, I guess approved, is it possible to send, our association a copy and maybe we can send that up to, some other organizations that we work with, like regionally, like Destination Northern Ontario or someone else, just to make them aware, that there's a lack of funding for, you know, historic sites and arts and culture, things like that, because the CMOG, you want some changes, like it would help maybe having some few more voices maybe, because I'm sure you're not the only site that feels like it's in the same position. So maybe at least make them aware, even if they, you know, can bring it up at AMO, because I know they attend conferences like that, so.
We certainly can, I've got that and the Association for Municipalities, and I'm going to also send it to the Ontario Museum Association. So yes, we'll forward it. Thank you very much. More support, the better. There are two resolutions on the agenda package, and Kelly, as your chair, gets to sign the letter. So, I'll leave the resolutions to you, Mr. Chair.
Okay, so we'll do the, it's the second one of the letter, right?
For the letter, yes.
Okay, so let's do that one first then. I'm mover and seconder for the. I'm going to read it out, I guess. Resolve that the members of the Historic Site Board approve the submission of the letter to the Ministry of Tourism, Culture and Gaming regarding the level of funding through CMOG.
Heather moved it.
Okay. And seconder.
Brittany.
Thank you. And all in favor? Perfect. Okay, the strategic plan. I guess we go through that.
Well, just one sec, I just want to make sure we have a resolution on the table, even though I did submit in finance and Tom Bear signed off on the application, but they like us to put in that the Historic Sites Board has approved the application.
Oh, yeah.
for
Oh,
CMOG,
that's the
so
first
that's
one,
the
okay,
first one.
okay, sorry, I missed that one.
That's okay.
It resolved that the members of the First Place Board approve the submission of the CMOG application and the relevant documents required. I'll move. Okay. And seconder, thank you,
David and Sylvana.
and all in favor? Perfect.
Okay. Other than, that, I just also want to let you know, we are on phase 2 of FedNor. And we are having approval for the FedNor intern. So we're gonna be posting for an intern to work on. The project, if we get approved from FedNor at phase 2, which is website. And the augmented reality, AR, and then also marketing and digital. It's all the information from the digital strategy that was recommendations. So whether or not we are approved with FedNor phase 2, we're still gonna try and do as much as we can with this intern to help us. So I just wanted to give you the happy news at that point. And then program and events, the Friends of have been approved by Experience Ontario. And the city's, wait a minute, Arts and Culture Fund. And they're waiting for one more level, which is federal, for their Fall Rendezvous Festival. So the plans are started with them, and Fall Rendezvous will move forward. So they're starting to make those plans. Can't believe we're talking fall already. I've notified the school boards before they leave for the summer. That it will happen. So that's,
On your own.
Yeah.
I don't get to work this year, but,
you trained us well. So that's a really quick update on what's going on. Other events and programs are as usual, we're, now into Strawberry. And, we have endless bus tours and cruise ships and coming throughout the summer, and summer camps visiting us. And we're trying to do a summer camp with the museum, so we'll see if anyone registers. But otherwise, full steam ahead. Any questions on the curator? For the curator for me? Okay.
On to the Municipal Heritage Committee. There's not too much of an update there, just that we're working on the registered list of properties, because we have to get that cleaned up before 2027, before we have to start deleting them and taking them off, and then we have 5 years to bring them back on. So we're trying to work through that list and seeing what priority list that we can make up and get them designated. And the other one is the Heritage Award. We had a submission and we approved it. So that's gonna be giving out this year too. So unless there's any questions of the Municipal Heritage Committee. Moving on to new business.
You want me to speak on some of these for you? In your agenda package is the proposed user fee for 2025. And I'm looking to see there, make sure I have them in full color. Yeah, so that means it went by electronic to everyone in full color. You can see the yellow highlighting is the proposed change. What happened last year is we really took a detailed analysis discussion at a board meeting and changed a lot of fees to be more reflective of the programming. And, then the city council decided at user fee approval time to round up a lot of user fees to make it easier for everyone. So they got adjusted. As you can see, there is a column that said 2024 proposed to be rounded. And so from there this year, I've taken a look at the user fees in advance for you. And basing my recommendations on conversations we had last year, there was a few of you that were concerned that we were sort of underselling our programming. So, one thing in reflection of last year's conversation and last year and this year's demand, as you can see, Lilac and Lavender is a formal high tea. And we had to add 2 more days and we still had a waiting list this year. I guess because I don't know if we're the only ones doing high teas, other than there are a couple at the canal.
That starts later, right?
There's summer, 2 in the summer,
Okay.
yeah, I think 1 in July and 1 in August,
So you had double the amount of people that were interested in this.
and a waiting list.
And a waiting
Yeah.
list, so you would recommend that?
Yeah.
That would be the price of it then?
I think we do a lot of food and programming, so.
It's very good.
Based on discussions we had last year and recommendations from some of you. And some are just rounding, up or down according to, since the city is looking at rounded numbers, and I also like to be able to, when someone comes to the front desk and they say, how much is admission? I like it to be, that's it, that includes HST. So 2 adults comes to $30, that includes the HST.
That's nice.
So you can also see, I've put HST included as a recommendation. Oh, you've got black and white, that's sorry.
No,
You don't get black and
this is the one that I. This is the one.
Did everyone see it in color so you know what the adjustments are? Is there any questions on user fee?
Why not, just for interest, because it jumps out at you, the one for film and it's like triple.
Yeah, now I think, let me get to filming, hold on, basically, the film crew.
Near the bottom.
Yeah, so what I've actually now, instead of. See the far left corner column, it says daily, a daily rate, it was hourly before. And what we found, the one time we were approached by a film crew, Hallmark came here and we had Christmas out there. They wanted to pay a daily rate. And so on the recommendations of our Sioux Film group, and we do have someone at the city that helps coordinate. We're looking at a daily rate, so an hourly.
Yeah.
That's why,
That makes sense. Thank you.
yeah. So I should have maybe made it turquoise or something, so.
Yeah. It actually in English says this has gone from hourly to daily.
It went from hourly to a daily rate, yes, that's why it tripled.
So what happens in that case, like, we shut down the site for that day? Like if there's a film like Hallmark was here, so.
Yeah,
We shut down.
it was June and they made it look like winter and, but we really didn't.
No.
We were able to navigate visitors away from the filming, but there were so many cast and crew and everyone coming and going that we couldn't really close the doors, they were coming and going. So we just, and I think we had very minimal, they came on a day that we didn't have anything, like we didn't have a cruise ship, we didn't have a bus tour. So we were able to move our visitors around the filming. It was kind of, people it was fun to watch this.
Yeah.
If anyone remembers, we had, I thought, it looked like snow, but it was, they posed in flakes of potato, mashed potatoes. Out there and they brought in all the trees and hung lights. It was like a little Christmas tree area.
Watch that movie.
One of the Hallmark ones.
We recognize the
They did the whole downtown too. They sold lots of the stores. Homespun Treasures and a few others had Christmas outside their store for,
They had a setup where the museum is too.
Yes.
The whole corner.
Yeah.
And it is,
they filmed in lot and down at the tent pavilion. It was, sort of looked like a skating rink.
Not to pay attention.
Yeah, really.
So, is there any other questions on user fees? I'm trying to watch the screen if anyone has their hand up. Nope, okay. So there are resolutions. There's one for proposed user fees 2025.
I guess we'll do it now then. Resolved that the members of Scottsdale State Court approve the user fees 2025 as presented. Mover and seconder for that. Okay. And seconder, somebody wait.
it's
Sandra, thank you.
And all in favor? Okay. 9B.
Now, the second one is our request. We did this one last year. And there's a business case and the paperwork, like the service level change form. Is in your package. It's basically it's to look at, again, asking for an increase in our budget for an assistant curator. Once we lose the FedNor intern. And right now we're just coming off museum assistant program, which allowed us extra funds for staffing to work on the collection. Once those two positions are sort of ending, which will be 2025, we'll be back down to Ian and I. And so it's really hard to keep up the pace and take care of the collection and all of those things. Including the house and the blockhouse, which are artifacts themselves, so. We put it in last year, so. We're just looking to submit it again. It is budget time that all these things have to go into the city. Because they start to put it all together, ready for the fall. Is there any questions on the business case and, yeah? Someone has a comment or a question?
Oh, Kathy, that was me. There's electrical work being done at the house. I might lose connection, but I'll be back.
Okay. No questions though?
No.
Okay. Sandra, are you raising your hand? Nope, she's got a thumbs up, okay.
No, I was just gonna say, I'm super happy to hear this, Kathy. You do so much, your team does so much, and I think this is a great move, excellent move. So that's all. I support it.
Thank you. It's kind of what Patricia said, if we don't keep asking year after year, no one hears us until it's heard. So there is a resolution on the table, for you on that too.
Okay, resolve that the members of the Historic State Board approve the proposed submission for an increase in service level for the 2025 budget. You and seconder. You. And all in favor?
Yep, okay. the last one is, our asset management priorities. So it is, we do this every year in our annual report and also, just to keep on top of the maintenance that is required. And there is a full asset report that the city has, so when you're looking at this package in your agenda package, it has numbers attached to it, so the 2025 priorities to move forward to the city are listed on the second page or in your agenda package 23 out of 23, last page of the agenda package. And it's relating to the numbers that are on the city's asset management plan. These are the priorities that we are looking at. The main ones, as you can see, are now moving, because this year we're supposed to get the roof on the old stone house this summer, and that's all been done through asset management. Hopefully, any day now, they'll tell us they're coming with scaffolding. But the blockhouse roof is the same age, so it has to be done. The exterior walls, the exterior windows, all of that on the blockhouse are listed, and they're not on the priority as being first, only because we're gonna look at applying for Canadian cultural spaces to assist with the restoration of the blockhouse. And there's some other projects that we're looking at within that project are accessibility. So in the blockhouse, we have a touch screen computer, and the touch screen is a little tiny one, and it's broken, just like all the electronics in there. That's why we're working on the AR on this first project this year. So we're looking at a bigger project. So asset management, these will be prioritized, but in hopes that we can do a bigger project. And with that, I'm not sure if it's capital or accessibility, so it's listed separately, is not just the touchscreens, is the boardwalk. Again, to try and deal with the slipperiness of the wooden boardwalks and the constant repair. They look authentic, but they're really a hazard. So and we have done research. Parks Canada has now switched a lot of their historic sites and houses to pathways done with aggregate stone in cement. And it's like it's not smooth, but it's a nice even walkway that I haven't asked them how it is to shovel in the winter yet though. So these are all the things anyway that if you're in agreement that I will be moving forward to the asset management list for 2025. Is there any questions?
With the boardwalk, couldn't we use like a plastic type wood? I don't know, engineered
Re-engineered, yeah,
it'd probably be expensive, but it might last a lot longer than.
yeah, there's. I think what we've done a little bit, I asked the accessibility, I'll have to ask them, the accessibility committee, I asked about. Stamped concrete even, because we can get it to look like wood.
Yeah, that would work.
And they thought it might be, again, slippery.
Slippery, yes, it is, like I have some around my house, the concrete, and it's a hazard. Yeah, it gets very slippery.
So. We'll work with the
Yeah, sure.
accessibility. Find out what's the best solution. Before it goes in the grant application.
So we need a resolution. Resolve that the members of the historic sites board approve the priorities list. For the Armachina Clear National Historic Site Asset Management Submission 2025 for consideration in budget 2025. I can have a mover and a second. Okay, thank you.
Is that Charlotte has her hand up? Is that right, Charlotte? I put Charlotte as the mover.
And
Oh, thank you, David.
and all in favor? Thank you. And on to the next meeting in September. September 11th. Wow.
August is always the month we don't meet. And so we can move to September 11th. Oh, that's a day. There. We're meeting on 9/11.
Yeah.
Is there any further questions? Well, thanks everyone for being,
Mover and second.
we need an over for adjournment.
Okay.
Oh, Brittany. And on the minutes in the new system, I have to have a seconder. Standard,
Yes.
thanks.
Okay.
There, is sorry that the three of you couldn't join us for lunch next time in September. I will try not to move the meeting to a different date. Sandra, you look like you're on a boat.
Maybe. Yeah. Anyway, have a great Canada Day, everyone. Enjoy the long weekend and summer.
Yeah, you too. Bye, everybody.
We're
Bye.
closed for Canada Day and all the staff are going to sell our gift shop products at Canada Day. And some are going to help at Poutine Feast.
Nice.
So, yeah, and I'm taking it off. Thanks, everyone.
Okay, bye.
Hosting can be at my camp. It was pretty much on hold.